Hey guys, so here we are doing the commentary for the Machina of Destruction trial.
Right.
I'm Alex, here's my buddy Evan.
Indeed.
So, where to begin? So, this fight has a lot of moving parts to it, which is appropriate given that you're fighting a giant robot.
I see.
So my main strategy here is that I have Zargabath up there built to be the highest attack. He's the party member with the highest attack rating for the team, and the reason for this is because every turn the robot will do three things. The left arm will kill the person with the highest attack in your team. The right arm will heal the body for 500,000 health, and the body will shoot a bunch of shit at your guys. I'm actually not totally sure like what the body does, just because, as you can see, so much crap happens every turn. It's just a bunch of lasers and explosions.
I thought that horizontal laser beam was the body's attack.
Yeah. I think it was genocide beam is what it was labeled as. So because I have Zargabath built to have the highest attack, he's the one who's going to be targeted by the fist every turn. Wilhelm, my guy in the middle there, is my tank, and he has a 100% rate provoke ability, which will let him intercept the fist attack should I choose him to do so. Right. So by having him and Zargabath trade off as to who's going to be hit by the fist every turn, I have complete control over which of my team members dies. And because I know for a fact who's going to die, I can play around that on my turn-to-turn strategy.
Okay. And so this team comp has... So the essential members of this team comp is Riku.
For these specific characters, Riku is really, really, really highly recommended here.
Right. It's like linchpinny, kind of.
I mean, I wouldn't say linchpin, but the thing with this particular strategy I'm employing is that you don't need any of these specific characters, but having better characters takes more and more micromanagement out of the overall fight.
Right. Gotcha.
So Riku can apply an auto revive to your entire team as her limit burst, and so because of that lets you keep your guys off the ground as much as humanly possible, and prevents you from having to spend multiple turns reviving your team members.
Right.
But you could conceivably do this by just having somebody with a revive ability, and just have them dedicated to reviving.
And it'll just take longer.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. It will just take longer. I'm also using Freyavia as my DPS, and I have a friend Freyavia supplementing that. And again, you could do this with any two DPS people, but magic users, people who use their magic stat to do damage, are recommended.
They don't mess up this strategy of having the one attack guy be the fist muncher.
Exactly, because otherwise you're going to have multiple people with potentially targeted, or you're going to have to deliberately nerf them to be weaker than your guy who's going to be dying every turn.
Yeah, and
that's not the best outcome you can hope for.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, Freyavia is suited for this. So is really anybody with a single target magic attack. Ace, Xyrus. People have been saying great things about the Emperor. But this is how I chose to do it. And ultimately that's what this team is. It's how I chose to do it.
Right.
Zargabath is not required to be your fist catcher, but he's a really good fist catcher because he has some great buffs and debuffs he can use between his deaths.
Yeah, and
he's also a safe pick because he has ability that lets him stay alive with 1 health when he dies. Freyavia also has that same ability, so having those guys around gives you more flexibility if RNG screws you and you don't get your revival off with Riku.
So you pick better units to pad out the possibility of failure.
Better units reduces your reliance on RNG.
Right, and so, but if you can't get like the really super cool units, your main roles are Reviver, Fist Catcher, and then like Proxy Fist Catcher.
Basically, yeah, and Healer, of course.
Right.
And it of course helps if your Reviver and your Healer have built-in revival abilities, because you can only bring 5 Phoenix Downs to a fight.
Yeah.
So that's not going to last you. The intended way to beat this is to kill the left arm 10 times, the right arm 2 times, and then the body. But if you have enough DPS to net damage against the body's healing every turn, you can just do what I'm doing here and go for the body.
Right, and then once the body's down, it becomes drastically easier because it doesn't get an attack besides the insta-gib, right? From the left arm.
I mean, more or less.
I mean, it doesn't get a significant attack.
The right arm gets stronger, and
Okay.
also you don't earn limit burst crystals anymore from hitting the arms.
Okay.
So if you've been relying on Riku's auto revive all this time, now things get dicier. I have Riku set up with equipment that gives her back limit burst every turn. So she's guaranteed to get her limit burst off every other turn. But if you can't get her out to do that, you're just gonna have to resort to her regular revival move, Mega Phoenix,
Right.
and you'll just have her spend all her time reviving your guys, basically.
Yeah.
So, not a deal breaker. Also, as you just saw right now, once you get the right arm down low enough, it'll auto heal like a huge chunk of its health.
Yeah.
and you
at
just
some threshold.
you just got to beat it down again.
Yeah.
And it's okay. We're almost there. Also, in Phase 2, you really want someone to be dispelling the right arm every turn if possible, because the right arm will buff its defense and attack every turn, and that gets annoying. I've got Zargabath doing it because he has a built-in Dispel, but Dispel isn't easy to craft materia. You could really give it to anybody.
So did we...
Yeah,
we just jumped ahead.
We
because-
time skipped to prevent having to watch me beat down the right arm all over again.
Yeah, yeah.
I figured you guys have seen it enough times at this
Yeah.
point. So, yeah, right arm's going to go down right now. Spoilers. And then we're just down to the left arm, and at that point, it's a victory lap, because all the left arm can do is kill your guy every turn. And since I have 2 revivers, you know,
One of them's going to be able to get him up every turn.
Exactly, especially
Right.
if I have Wilhelm alternating with Zargabath. This also finally gives Zargabath the chance to use his really big buffs on Freyevia to speed things along a little bit.
Yeah.
And, yeah, that's basically it. Like, this fight, I'd say this fight is 99% just preparation. If you have a solid team set up, then your turn-to-turn isn't super complicated.
Yeah, I mean, this was... And I mean, it was, what? It's semi-intimidating because they came out and said you're not supposed to beat it yet?
Yeah, the producer actually said, like, we don't expect people to beat this fight for a couple of months. But, challenge accepted.
But life finds a way.
Nerds always find a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was able to beat this like a little over an hour into its release, and I am certain that there are people who did it faster.
Yeah,
Because
I'm sure that the world record is 10 minutes or whatever.
yeah, so there's always someone who does that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I ended up sleeping like a whole like 2 hours after the fight came out, so I could wake up for work properly. And then I did the fight on my while at my job. Yeah. So I'm sure there was someone who was just sitting up waiting for 7 a.m. to roll around.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, I gotta fight. I gotta beat the Evangelion like right away.
Well, I mean, the fists are purple. I forgot what the body looked like now that it's off screen.
The body is pretty Ava-esque. I'd say overall it's got more of a Big O vibe. And right here, I'm setting up so that I can finish the fight using Alexander Crest.
That's right.
Which is the best
Which
crest.
is your favorite
For
crest.
obvious reasons. Just like the Gundam Alex is the best Gundam there is. And what's that one Final Fantasy summon? The one I really like? Aside from Doom Train, Alexander is also the best Final Fantasy summon. And I guess, come to think of it, Alexander Crest is probably a reference to Alexander the Esper. I haven't beaten 12.
Apparently, Doom Train is going to be a thing in 14.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. I do love Doom Train.
And there was the big finish.
And that's the big finish with Alexander Crest. So, that's basically it. I'm going to link to the full run in the video description if you haven't seen it yet. I've been told it's a good watch. We enjoyed doing this. I'm assuming you enjoyed doing the 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'd like to do more of this. So if you liked what you saw, subscribe and maybe say something nice in the comments, or something mean. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to tell you how to live.
Well,
all right. Well,
we will see you guys in our next venture. Then.
Yeah, next time.
Later.